Here we go again. Can you see through that windshield? Let's turn the radio off here before we get too much further. Now listen to that. It's going to leave a streaky mess. April 22nd, 2021. In the midst of our pandemic worldwide. I'm late, 10 minutes late heading into work. I don't know why. Wasn't paying attention, got rolling on time, but we're gonna take the quicker way. Traffic. Trestle's been getting kind of nasty at the I-5 interchange the last couple weeks as more and more people are back on the road. Allergies are affecting me. Wound up taking Tuesday off. All stuffed up and itchy-eyed and coughing and sneezing. There's my allergy meds from over the counter. They're a couple years old now. Not really that effective anymore. Oh, $3.59 a gallon for fuel. I'm gonna have to fill this thing up. Today's payday. Probably tonight on the way home I'll stop in across the highway there and top her up. Didn't fill up last payday like I normally do. So I'm one tick below a quarter tank right now. 149 miles of range left, according to the car. Not too bad for a month worth of driving. What we got on this? 440 miles on this tank. Average of 38.4 miles per gallon. Summertime, we run a little bit better blend of fuel, so fuel economy tends to go up a little bit. Somebody's got the radio cranked. See, I didn't do one of these last week. Didn't really have a whole lot to discuss. Just the same old, same old. I did play with the trucks a little bit. If you watched my last video, cranking on old Cletus. It took a while to get him fired up. The fuel is getting pretty stale in that tank. Maybe this weekend, if it's not raining, pop out and we'll try to fire him up again. See why he wouldn't go, but yeah, it took a lot of cranking. I had fuel into the filter. I was getting a little concerned that it wasn't feeding the carb right, but crank, 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 cough, cough, sputter, sputter, crank, 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 cough, cough, sputter, sputter. Get a couple of fires and then die. And crank, crank, crank. And it took a few minutes, but I gotta say that battery, think I had it on the charger last year. I know it wasn't plugged in all winter. Normally I keep it on a little trickle charger, but I didn't do that. So that battery's been sitting for probably at least close to a year now. Maybe last summer I had it. I don't know if it's picking up. That car in front of me is dragging muffler or something underneath. But yeah, I just screwed the little disconnect thumb screw into it and just started cranking on it. And she fired. So probably got about 20 minutes of runtime on the truck. Put a little bit of a charge back into it if it's charging. I didn't check that. We'll look at that this weekend. Check the alternator output. But he did run, fired up. Got a manual choke kit I need to look into putting on. I think I need something on the side of the carburetor. Let's grab a second gear here. What do we got? Get in front of the Nissan. Nice little full throttle second gear pull there. Pop-off valve going there. Yeah, he ran, drove it around the block once. I don't have the plates on it, so I didn't want to push it too hard or too far. Plates are coming due, tabs are coming due on that truck in June. So I have to look into that this weekend. That one's got the personalized plates, the novelty plates on it. So that one's expensive to redo. Of course, they're all getting to be expensive anymore. The prices keep going back up. Passed a law years ago to limit the tabs to $30 over the several $100s that it used to be. They've found ways to circumvent that, and prices keep going up. Say the red truck, because that's my second highest gross weight rated truck. That one's, I think it was just over $100 last year. That was back in November, December. Cletus, I think I want to say he's about 140 for the year. The car was $70 even. Jimmy's coming due in June as well. And if I don't pay the tabs for the 63, because they're personalized plates, if I don't pay them by the expiration date, then I have to reapply for that plate, which is not cheap. A couple $100 if I remember right. Otherwise, I have to go get a regular license plate, which probably still cost me more than what just paying for the tabs would run. Normally I get an email notification about the renewal, but I haven't seen that yet. It's this semi-long. It says brake lights on. I don't see turn signals, so we're gonna past it. into work and then drive all the way back up here, get the shot, and go back to work. The company will pay me for it. I'm giving up to 2 hours pay per shot. And I could have got one in town, but I thought, I'm just going to wait for the one right by the house. And yesterday there was an email that came out that said Boeing employees are now eligible at the Activity Center, which is a Boeing-owned site a little north of the factory that we've loaned out to the state to use as a vaccination site. So he says, yeah, we're going to open it up. Boeing folks can go in there, set up an appointment, show up for your date, and away you go. Well, I couldn't get the link to work. My work computer did a big update over the weekend, and I lost all my internet, whatchamacallits, the Firefox and all that. So it wouldn't open up the link. It said it only uses Firefox and what is it, Windows 11 or whatever, I don't remember, but didn't update those two when the computer updated. So I thought, well, I'll just scratch that one. I'll just keep trying at the clinic by the house. And then it wasn't a couple hours later, had another email pop up. The Walgreens is going to be on site. Several Washington Boeing facilities, Puget Sound and Moses Lake. I got 5,600 doses. That link worked. Couldn't get one for Monday in the afternoon. It was only in the morning. So I set it up for a half hour before I start my shift. It's in the main factory. It's at the far end, so it's about a 10-minute walk from my desk. Tuesday, I'll show up about 45 minutes early, hang out in the parking lot for a little bit, go walk down, get my shot, and then cruise over to the desk and start my shift. And they say the first shot's the easiest. The second one's where you start feeling it the most. So I'm going to try to get the second shot on a Friday. We'll see how that goes. If I'm feeling poorly, I don't have to worry about burning a bunch of time. Part, sent out an email forwarding the email talking about the appointments. Several of the managers sent it off to a few of their teams, and I got called a sheep, and I got called a couple other things yesterday. Talking with a couple other folks that they've been told the same thing, so I says, you know what, that happens again, just report them to ethics, report them to HR, because they don't agree with it. Doesn't mean they need to harass those that are going to get the shot. My personal belief is if we would have done things a little bit better in the beginning and people would have listened to the medical professionals and our elected officials would have acknowledged this a little bit sooner, we wouldn't be in this bad of a situation. We could have had it under control better. But that's all hindsight. in sight at this point. Hasn't really changed much, just kind of settled down a little bit. Some of my safety stuff keeps getting shifted around. People feel that they want some, I want to call them public safety items for their own personal use, so I've had to reacquire a few items. Well, we need one of those here. Well, it's at a centrally located spot. Have to walk a little bit depending on what airplane you're working. Suck it up. And of course the usual response is, that's BS. Yeah, well, deal with it. These are the same people who walk around with their mask under their nose and their safety glasses off, and Boeing doesn't give a rat's you know what about our safety. Boeing doesn't, huh? Alrighty. Back in the parking lot. Turn in front of Mr. Jeep. I did signal. He had to stop anyway. And then we'll cut across. And we will just sneak it right in here. Alrighty, that's gonna do it. I gotta run. I got 14 minutes. I think we're doing alright. Only about 6 minutes off schedule. Crack the windows since the sun is shining now. It's beautiful last almost week or so, but the rains are coming. As you can see, the clouds are blowing in. I think today and tomorrow is still supposed to be dry, but chance of showers on the weekend, so we'll see what we get into. Alrighty, I'm gonna shut you all off. Catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.